Today I'm super excited to bring you the brand new DJI Avata 2 and show you and talk about all the new changes, all the new improvements and everything you need to know about this brand new drone. Let's get started. First of all, I want to quickly compare the original Avata 1 to the new Avata 2 because we have a quite different design, which is now not only flatter and more slim in general, but this drone also is 30 grams lighter. We have a different mechanism for the battery, which just slides inside the shell itself and doesn't protrude that much like it was here on the original Avata 1, meaning that we will have a better aerodynamics, we have a better flying performance, and I will talk about the flying performance a little bit later, but we also have another very drastic difference on the front, and that is the camera. Trust me on that, you won't need to put an additional action camera like we used to do here on the original Avata 1. With this drone, we have a drastic improvement in the camera department, and I'll also focus on that in just a second. The Avata 2 keeps the same 3-inch sized propellers. However, this time we have 3 slats as opposed to 5 slats on the Avata 1. So we have different noise that the drone makes. It's a lot quieter. It's similar to the Air 3, which is a lot more pleasant to the ear. It doesn't really strike you that much when you hear it, as opposed to the screaming sound of the Avata 1. We have binocular fisheye sensors here on the back, just where the Avata 2 name is under the battery. And these sensors are used to detect obstacles from the back and from the underside of the drone. They're extremely helpful in some scenarios, especially because of one new feature that has been introduced on this drone, which again, I will mention in just a second. And finally, we have a 46 gigabyte internal memory right next to the SD card slot and the USB-C port here on the left side of the drone. If you're curious about a full detailed comparison between these two drones, subscribe to my channel because that video is coming in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that. Let's begin with the camera specs of the Avata 2. The camera is one of the most important features of this drone, and I'm very happy to see that now we have a bigger, better sensor with better dynamic range, namely the 1/1.3 inch sensor here from the DJI Osmo Action 4. It's very similar, if not exactly the same as that one. So we have it here, and now we can see that the lens is much bigger compared to the original Avata 1. And of course, this is very useful for not only nighttime scenarios where you want to film in lower light conditions, but also during daytime you have a lot better dynamic range. You have 155-degree field of view on this drone, and it records, of course, in 10-bit D-Log-M. So D-Log-M as opposed to D-Cine like on the original Avata. And of course, you can do a lot more with D-Log-M as it's flatter, it retains a lot more information, and color grading this footage coming out of the Avata 2 is a real pleasure. I'm using my own LUTs to color grade the footage coming out of the Avata 2, and I couldn't be happier with how easy it is to transform the look of your footage with just a click of a button and using these LUTs. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check the link in the description. They will be down there. Now, besides that, we have the same frame rates and resolutions as the original Avata 1. There is no change when it comes to that, but 4K 60 HDR video is present on the Avata 2. And you can of course change a whole bunch of different resolutions and frame rates below 4K if you're into that. The Avata 2 comes with the DJI O4 transmission system, meaning that you will have better view inside your goggles, you'll have bigger range, up to 13 kilometers in FCC mode, and you have less latency. 24 milliseconds of latency is the best that you can expect out of the Avata 2, which is spectacular in my opinion. We have an improved battery life on the Avata 2, up to 23 minutes of flight time compared to the 18 minutes of maximum flight time of the Avata 1. So you can definitely feel those extra 5 minutes with each battery here. It really depends how you fly, and of course if you fly in normal, sport mode or manual mode, it really depends how much time you can extract out of each battery. But if you are going in manual mode, for example, you're going for maximum throttle all the time, it will squeeze about 3 to 4 minutes of flight time with each battery from this drone in manual mode in full speed, which is still spectacular because it's comparable to Cinewhoops with a similar size with bigger batteries than this one, and a little bit heavier as well. So this is a great result. And with this drone, we also get new accessories to fly it with. So right now I don't have the DJI FPV Remote Controller 3, which is the controller that is used to fly this drone in manual mode, but I have the Motion Controller 3, which is the brand new motion controller from DJI. It was included in the Fly More bundle, and we have the brand new DJI Goggles 3. So first I will start with the goggles. There's so many things to talk about, so I'll try to be quick and not waste any time with rambling. But these goggles now have a whole new design with this forehead pad here to make them more comfortable on your head when you put them on. At first when I saw them, it was really weird for me to check them out and see this forehead pad, but now it all makes sense after using them for a while. It really makes sense on how this strap just sticks on your forehead and on your head in general. It's really comfortable, and every one of my friends who tried them on said that they're more comfortable than the previous iterations of the goggles from DJI. Now, the biggest thing in my opinion is not that much the forehead pad, which of course is very comfortable and makes them fit on your head very well, but it's mostly these little, I call them curtains, that are just blocking all sorts of different light leaks coming from the side of your face. So when you put these on, they completely cover those little areas where light is coming from, and now it's pitch black when you put them on, so nothing is leaking, nothing is, you know, messing with your view when you put them on, which is really cool. Besides that, we have the same, pretty much the same strap on the back as the goggles Integra, but we have something big here that I need to talk about, and these are these two binocular cameras on the front of the goggles. They are great to be used by using a button here on the remote controller to turn them on when you're flying, when you're changing batteries, for example, when you're doing something on the ground and you don't want to mess your comfort of your goggles, you don't want to remove them from your head. You can simply turn on the cameras and just check out your surroundings. They are that good, especially if the lighting is good around you. You will see pretty much everything around you. To try that out and to show it to you, I set up a little obstacle course where I put the remote on the ground, I put the drone on the ground, I had an obstacle in the front, and I had to go over it just by using the cameras of the goggles, and I had no issues doing that. I didn't feel dizzy, I didn't feel disoriented. It was just perfectly fine for me. So it's really easy if you don't want to keeping the goggles always on the ground or somewhere else while you're doing something on the drone, when it's time to change the battery or remove the filter, do some type of work around. It's really easy to use those cameras, which can help you out in that scenario. If you want to use the cameras on the goggles, you can use them in full-size view, or you can enable a setting in the menus that enables picture-in-picture mode, which will only give you a little area of the goggles with the camera view, and then you can use the other area to check out the camera view from the drone. It's really convenient. You also have a 2D or 3D mode that you can choose between. It's really up to you. 3D is a little bit trippy for me. I prefer to keep it in 2D mode, but it's basically to select how you want to combine the view from these cameras inside the goggles display. Now, real quick about the RC Motion Controller 3. You definitely see that there is a change of the design. It's a lot more ergonomical. It's not as tall as the RC Motion Controller 2. It's very comfortable to hold in your hand. It's pretty much perfect to hold and do everything. All the little buttons are accessible and easy to use. You have a joystick that is of course easy to use as well. And now this is also a lot more important to use because of a feature that has been introduced on the new Avata 2, which is called Easy Acro. Easy Acro is pretty much a predefined maneuvers. We have a couple of different maneuvers inside the Avata 2 that you can use with this RC Motion Controller 2 when enabling Easy Acro from the goggles menu. So when you turn this feature on, you can go and try the 180-degree drift, for example, which is a really cool feature when you pass something and you want to quickly turn around and focus on that subject. You can simply accelerate, past the subject that you want to film and then just press left or right, and the drone will drift in that direction, and it will continuously fly backwards, focusing on that subject, which is a really cool maneuver, and I really liked using that. You also have the easy flip or roll feature, which of course will flip the drone in the specific direction that you have selected, or it will roll it in that direction. So you can do easy flips and rolls with just a press of a button from the RC Motion Controller 3 and the Avata 2. It's a really nice way to introduce these types of movements to the beginners who haven't really experienced them before and who don't have the nerve to try them in manual mode. With this, you can easily give that to a complete beginner, and they will be able to do those maneuvers and just enjoy the feeling of flying an FPV drone like this. Now it's time to focus on the flying performance of this drone, because I've been really impressed by it. Now, granted, once again, a big disclaimer, I don't have the DJI FPV remote controller, which completely unlocks the full potential of this drone. It was just not part of the bundle that I got for review from DJI. As soon as I have my hands on the FPV remote controller, I will make another video to show you how the remote controller is being used to fly the Avata 2 and how to unlock the real potential of this drone in manual mode. But so far, I can say that I've been experimenting with flying in normal mode and sport mode on this drone. And I also gave this drone to people who haven't flown FPV at all. And they were really happy to see how easy it is, because as a complete beginner, you don't want to be overwhelmed by, you know, the crashing potential of an FPV drone. And with this, it's really easy, it's really intuitive. With the RC Motion Controller 3, it's just a piece of cake to fly this drone, and the whole way of controlling it is very intuitive and very easy to get used to. So even a complete beginner will be fine with maybe 5 minutes of practicing this drone, and they will be fine getting to know the controls, and they will be able to start flying and have fun with it straight away after. So personally, I've been really happy with the flying performance of this drone. It has a maximum flight speed of 8 meters per second in normal mode and 16 meters per second in sport mode, which completely changes in manual mode. So that's one more reason why I'm super excited to bring even more speed out of this drone in manual mode as soon as I have my hands on it, and the remote controller 3. But even in sport mode with the 16 meters per second, you feel the speed. It's a lot of speed. It's great to have that speed while being able to closely navigate between obstacles. And one of the biggest things that brought me enjoyment out of making this review for you guys is the different ways of flying this drone, the different areas where I was able to fly this drone and to be completely relaxed, because I was able to navigate through obstacles and go through tight gaps without ever really being stressed about hitting something. And of course, I did hit many things and I crashed this drone many times in making this review. But that's one more thing that I want to share, and that is how durable this whole shell is. The DJI Avata 1 was notorious for being very crash resistant, and this is no different. We have a very durable shell that is divided into two sections. So we have the main frame here, which is quite strong, and then we have the bigger shell on top, which holds the battery, which holds the camera and all the internal components. That is also in a different color and different material, so that this thing on the bottom feels a little bit more rigid, and this is more plasticky here on top, but both of them are super durable. And after countless crashes with this drone, and a big one that sent this drone maybe 15 meters down a large drop from some rocks that I was filming from, and a little rescue operation that I had to do to get the drone back to me. Even after that, the whole drone is just flying as it is. I haven't even changed a prop on it yet. And that goes to show that these prop guards, these props themselves and all the different components are very durable, very strong. They are very crash resistant as well. So I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with the camera quality. And generally, I'm very happy with what this drone will bring to all the audience and all the people who are excited about FPV. I think it's a massive improvement in all the right areas that have been a little bit lacking on the Avata 1. All the areas that needed to be improved have been improved on the Avata 2, and I'm very happy to hear that DJI has been listening closely to their customers, and I'm sure there won't be people putting out action cameras on top of this one because the quality is that good and you definitely don't need it. When it comes to the stabilization, we all know we have the rock steady stabilization, we have horizon steady stabilization, and you can of course turn all of that off and use gyro flow to really have full control over how you want to stabilize your footage. This is my go-to way of stabilizing footage. This is what I personally recommend, but if you want to really rely on the built-in stabilization, you can definitely do that as well. It's very good. Rocksteady is very solid. It's just my personal preference to use gyro flow. Now I'm looking at the price list of the Avata 2 and I'm super happy to say that the Avata 2 is actually cheaper than the Avata 1. Meaning that it's a no-brainer to get this drone, and I'll link it down in the description if you want to check out the different bundles, different buying options and different accessories that this drone has to offer. But let's not forget that this drone comes with the goggles 3 and the RC Motion controller 3, the DJI FPV remote controller 3, and this drone only works with them as of right now. There will be future updates that will enable this drone to be flown with the DJI remote controller 2 from the original Avata. There will be different updates that probably will enable this drone to be flown with the goggles Integra, for example, or the goggles 2. But as of right now, it can only be flown with the goggles 3, with the RC Motion controller 3, and the FPV remote controller 3. Nothing else can be used to fly this drone. So I'm really excited to bring you a variety of different videos about the DJI Avata 2. Stay tuned for a lot more content coming on the channel very soon. But for now, this is everything I have for this review of the Avata 2. I'm extremely happy with this drone and I cannot wait to show you more with it coming in the upcoming days. So subscribe to the channel now if you don't want to miss those videos. Thank you so much for watching. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy. Take care and I'll catch you soon.